Hello there. Price of Reason here with a Quantum Leap review. Now, I didn't announce that I was doing this live stream, and I wouldn't be surprised if people simply don't know about it. The reason why I'm doing this and kind of doing it out of the blue is that a few people have reached out to me and asked me if I could review the latest episode of the new Quantum Leap episode 7. Now, you probably know that I'm not very excited about this show. Uh, it's past the point of me really even enjoying making fun of it because it's become so ridiculously bad that it's uh it's almost unreviewable. Still, I know there's people, especially on my main channel, that followed me for a long time and they enjoyed watching my reviews of the show. So I've decided to still give them an option to hear my thoughts on it. I do for that reason watch these silly things and actually give my 2 cents on them. Let me pull up the episode so we can just go over it a bit. I think that there's a few people actually watching, so that's nice. But give me 1 second. Still with the technical stuff, not as fast as I should be. I think that this now is exactly what it should be, I think, right? You can see this thing. Here, I'll make it even more visible. So, this is obviously, we're gonna just skip around. Okay. Hi, Tex Rogers, how are you? Yeah, thanks. Thanks for stopping by. So basically, in this episode, Ben, he leaps into a witch, and I don't know if it's 1692 or something. I'm not even going to go check it, but it's something along those lines. This is significant because the original show really made a point of having Sam leap within his own lifetime, whereas this is just dumb nonsense if he can leap into 1692. It One of the reasons why I don't like it is because people in 1692, they acted and they spoke a certain way, and immediately when he arrives, you could tell that this isn't some fancy period piece. These people don't sound like they're in 1692 or whatever it is. He certainly doesn't, and the way they act, the way they talk, it's completely unbelievable. Now, one of the nice things about the original show is if Sam leaps into somewhere, uh 10 years or 20 years before, we're watching the episode, if the episode aired in the 90s or something and it took place in the 70s, it's still within the realm of possibility that beyond a few slang words that he may not understand fully at that second, or maybe they won't understand a few slang words, uh, generally speaking, he'd know how to talk to them in a way that he still sounds like a human being. Whereas here, him arriving in 1692, they had a very different way of speaking. This is too much. This is too much of a stretch, in my opinion. Uh, I don't see Forgotten MMA. Oh, here. Man, I don't. He says, "Man, I don't believe they went past his life again." Shake my head. Yes, it's dumb. It's really dumb. On the original show, they once did some exception where they went to the Civil War, where he met his great grandmother, something like that. But you know, that wasn't exactly the best episode. I think not everybody even loves that whole Civil War thing. It was okay, I guess. Still better than this. This is just awful. Hey, Forgotten MMA, how are you? So basically, we're ooh, Ted Harrington. You should just stop watching this trash. Ted, you know what? I was considering not watching it, but there are people that have reached out to me, and I do appreciate that they've been watching my videos for a long time and they really enjoy my analysis of it. So they said, could you please look at it and tell us your thoughts? And I didn't want to disappoint, even if it's just a handful of people at this point. It's probably just a few. I don't even want to disappoint them because if people were here from a very early point when I used to do these videos on my main channel, I don't want to disappoint people. Actually priced, they did it more than once, waiting for the classic review to talk about it. We'll get to that for sure. So he leaped into this place. He's talking with a few other ladies of the time. He's in Massachusetts or somewhat something, and they're talking to him. I'm trying to remember. Sorry, I watched it once. It's not like I was vigorously taking notes here. There's something there's a guy that they're talking about, some guy that some girl liked, and then here there's some kind of issue. She's stressed. There's somebody sick. People are sick. There's a drought. There's water. Who knows? They go to this. Here they're back in regular time. Random office guy's uh, girlfriend. I guess she's his girlfriend. I have thoughts on this, but I better keep them to myself. In any case, she somehow replaced the chip with a new chip. Now it won't cause problems anymore. So that dumb problem that nobody cared about at all was solved. Uh, I guess now they have to decide who's going to be the hologram, and it's just a chore now, whoever the hologram is. They just say, "Oh, whatever, I'll do it." So initially, chief security officer lady wants to do it, but then and Addison can't do it because she's his disappointed his former disappointed fiance, and then random office guy person, he says he'll do it. So now they're in this kind of town meeting. They're discussing some stuff with this. Some guy got sick. There's witches. Some other lady is a witch. Again, I watched this once and it was really, really bad. So I'm just doing my best here. Tex Rogers asked why is she Hispanic? She should be of UK English stock. You know, in 1692, that would make sense, but Forgotten MMA, he's surprised about random office guy person uh having the girlfriend. It is very strange, and you know what? If I'm not mistaken, I could be mistaken, in real life, that's also the girlfriend of the actor, which also is very strange, but, you know, I can't tell people do whatever it is that's good for them, and I respect that, but sometimes, sometimes there's some things that are kind of surprising, and I guess let's leave it at that. Because people, every single thing I say, they get offended anytime on this channel. I believe it's an actress that I saw her on The Sinner, the girlfriend, and I, for some reason, think I don't know how I maybe once researched or looked or did something about random office guy person actor, and then I thought that it led to that, and I was really surprised by the whole situation. But you know, I don't wanna criticize that or say anything about him, but I'll just say there's a lot of trends today. Things are very trendy. Maybe, maybe and I'm not saying that about that person, I'm just saying in general. Maybe you present yourself a certain way, and you're looked at more favorably. Forgotten MMA, I believe that that was the girlfriend before getting the job. Yes, you say it feels like nepotism. It could be. It could be, I don't know. Uh Then again, it's not like they have great actors on this show anyways. It's really basically it seems like they go out onto the street and say, "Hey, do you wanna be in the new Quantum Leap?" And then the person appears on an episode, so maybe he sh they gave them the production a special deal. They just said, you know, "She wants to be on the same set as me. If you buy us a Big Mac, she can be on the show." It's a possibility. They closed the deal for 2 Big Macs and a large fries, and they got a 2 for 1 special. Random office guy person and random office guy person girlfriend. Uh, so okay, where were we? This guy, this dumb thing. He's in this trial. They're talking. There's a drought. Somebody got sick, and he's trying to understand whatever's going on. And then this is some like the magistrate, the local guy, whatever he's supposed to be, like the local boss guy, and that's his son who's now fallen ill. And then Ben, who knows CPR, just decides to do CPR and revives him. But the second he does, everybody thinks that Ben's a witch. Now the thing is, and then once Ben dead. Now the thing that with Ben doing this is, I think that just Ben even trying to maybe, it looks like a woman's kissing the guy. That may have her in and of itself gotten this person killed on the spot in 1692. I don't know if they would have even let her complete the CPR, because they wouldn't have known what this person is doing. And I think that would have been a very strange thing in 1692 and probably unacceptable. But I don't know. Let's see what probably the local squire. Tex Roger. Wow, I thought she was a throwaway character. More present day characters is a drag. Who are we talking about? Are we talking about the girlfriend? Well, when I looked at this comment from far away, I thought that you wrote more present day characters in drag, which surprised me. But you're saying it is a drag. Yes, random office guy person's girlfriend, and you see her almost in every episode. One has to wonder, because notice how you never see that Janice Calavici actress anymore. They probably, I don't know, maybe they figured they'd pay less and bring the random office guy person girlfriend. They gave him a special deal. Huh. So, yeah, now they see him doing this thing. They get upset. They put him there, and now they put this other lady. Now there's two of them. Uh, Two of them that, or no, wait, one of them, two of them are going to die now instead of one. And then this other lady comes out and says, wait, this is all wrong. How could you do such a thing? And then they said, okay, well, you're next. So now they want all three of them. They're basically, all three of them are witches, and they want all of them to die. So at this point, Ben's in trouble, and basically all these people in present day, not only are their scenes boring, they're just kind of useless. I don't even think they do anything legitimate, but Ben convinces them that there's supposed to be a trial. So what they do is that they basically do a trial where he hopes that the son of the magistrate, who he saved his life, will basically get up and say, no, it's okay, they're not witches. But then he gets up and says, no, they really are witches. Let's get rid of them. So then they get taken to a jail, really dumb jail where nobody is watching them, just in some stupid hole. There's an ongoing thing where they smell sulfur. I like that late. Tex Rogers says, I like that lady. It was the best part of the show. Are you, Tex, are you talking about the lady that said, no, they're not really witches? Yes, I don't know. I haven't looked at the origin of this actress. She does seem like she could be, but it's sort of, yeah, uh, I, I, if you if you want to Google the actress and tell me, it's possible. It didn't jump out on me when I was watching it. Sometimes a woman could just have dark hair and look a certain way. That it's possible. I don't know. Uh, let's put it this way: if this episode was well written and I really thought this was a great television, and this isn't. It's not like I sit around and I can't sleep at night if there's one casting or another in every single situation. Yes, usually in time travel shows, I think it's best to be accurate to the historical time you're going for. So I think that's usually a good idea. I'm not sure about this actress. It could be, but it sort of doesn't. I just don't know. Not enough to bother me, in the sense of the historical accuracy. I think if this would have been well written, it wouldn't have been an issue at all. Mm, you can look at her name. I'm on the fence about it. I don't know. Again, this wasn't a red flag that really mattered to me while I was watching the episode. Uh, there are cases where, let's say, you're in some town. There was once a situation where they were in 1925 in some town with all very rich white people, and then they had a diverse doctor, which seemed like it wouldn't fit the time. Which at the time I said that it's not a matter of it's not in 2023 where it could obviously be a diverse doctor. I was just thinking that in 1925 it wouldn't make sense that that would be their doctor, and I still believe that. But in this case, I don't know about this actress. It's not so harsh that it wasn't something I really thought about while watching this episode. That's me. Anyhow, they're stuck in this thing now in this stupid cave-like jail, and then, I guess, chief security officer lady goes and talks to him. Now they're just taking turns as the hologram. Uh, he's trying to figure a way out, and they're all just bickering and talking nonsense and crap. Again, it wouldn't make sense that they'd have such easy conversations. People must have spoken very differently in 1692. All of this doesn't ring true. You have these weirdos in present day continuously doing stuff. This part, Ben sort of promises something about. He tells him he knows the. Wait, what's this part? Some. I remember some. Okay, I'm trying not to skip. Okay, this is the part where Ben knows some information, maybe that that guy's wife, she's pregnant or I don't know what. The guy gets all upset, but then as he comes to sort of choke Ben, Ben gets the keys for the jail out of his pocket, which is super convenient and dumb. All of this is really dumb and plays out in a dumb way. Yes, these type of shows sometimes they rely on fan goodwill, and there's a lot of conveniences even on the original show. But when you're having fun and everything is this kind of fun atmosphere of escapism, and fans are excited about it, you could get them a lot more cooperative when it comes goodwill from them when it comes to this kind of suspension of disbelief. But when you're watching something that I think is crap throughout all of this, and then there's more suspension of disbelief, and it's all dumb to begin with, then really there's nothing really to think about. Um, Now they're sort of on the run. They go to her place, which has been trashed. She thought she had money there, but there isn't money. And then she thought, oh, I'll have them in the store. We'll go to the store. I don't know what. And then at this point, they're trying. This is the part that really didn't feel like 1692 to me. They're trying out clothes and smiling at each other. All of this is nonsense. At this point, I guess the one of the ladies sees that they're in trouble. The horses have been stolen. I don't know what happened, and I guess she decides that she's gonna ditch these ladies and run away. And there's also some dumb crap I think here that Ben, basically from his own experience, I don't know if he's disappointed. Oh, she's saying that a husband left, husband died, or something. Maybe her husband died. I'm trying to remember. I watched it once and I just blocked it out. I think he was then telling her about his disappointed fiance in some roundabout way. And of course, he has to talk about his feelings and that dumb crap that nobody cares about. Um, let's see. Back then, they generally had two sets of clothes, one for every day and one for Sunday. I hate Chief Security Officer Lady. It's I don't necessarily hate her. It's just that there's too many characters on this show, and they just don't know what to do with them. And Chief Security Officer Lady, I've seen a few cases. Once when she was the only hologram to Ben, I didn't think that was the worst thing ever. Uh, Generally speaking, I don't hate her, but I think she has nothing to do here. So back to this dumb show. So now they're oh, now it turns out that the son that before was kind of a dumbass, now he wants to help them. But then the father arrives and sees them and with a wagon of apples or something, and then he makes an excuse, and the father somehow grabs the apple, and they manage to fool him. And then I guess here, this is another one of those dumb present day things. First of all, I can't stand the fact that they made Magic such a he was the only figure of authority and an actor that's worth anything on this show. And even this guy, over the past season and a half or whatever it is, they've only made an effort to make him look like an idiot, basically. Uh, First of all, they never treat him any kind of respect or somebody that's supposed to be some kind of admiral in the military or in the navy, wherever he's supposed to be. They don't treat him like some kind of officer that's their commanding officer that they are supposed to give respect. At the same time, an officer doesn't sit down and talk about his alcoholism and about going to sponsor meetings and AA, and even the fact that they made him an alcoholic doesn't sit well with me. Anything I see here is just a disgrace, in my opinion. This isn't how a military operation with billions of dollars on the line works. This is just unacceptable nonsense. All of this soapy drama, all this crap, everything, it's crap. And this is the part where she sits and she tells him, "I don't know what to do. He doesn't like me anymore." And, blah, 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 blah. He goes, "Oh, I went to AA. This show is crap. This show is crap. Sorry, I know that may not have been the exact dialogue, but you guys get the picture. The writer's room on this is something else. I read Greg Nine of The Office said he would hire different types of writers that specialize in story, jokes, dialogue. Yeah, this is just crap. Uh, Seems like Quantum Leap did The Office hire a bunch of freshmen from a community college, right? By the way, who wrote that? Who said that? That was that. So Forgotten MMA. There was once a situation where I got annoyed at one of those producers from this show who was boasting on Twitter that his sort of personal assistant, he let her write an episode or something like that. And he was really complimenting himself, and they're all complimenting each other on Twitter that he did that. And I was thinking to myself, what are you complimenting yourself about? These episodes are terrible. First of all, you yourself don't seem to know how to write them. And to pawn that off to your assistant who knows even less than you, I don't know why everybody's high fiving each other. This thing is really crap. So, okay, they talk about their feelings about this dumb thing, about his alcoholism, weeping and crap. And then when he says, "No, but you know what? You're the best." Then she's like, "Yeah, you go, girl." That's what he tells her. And then now they're here. They're on a wagon with apples. But then it turns out that uh, okay, chief security officer lady tells Ben that they took that third lady who ran away and they're going to kill her. But Ben doesn't want to leave her behind, so he tells this other lady, even though she abandoned us, we have to go back and save her. It's the right thing to do. There's one thing that really is kind of weird. It doesn't really matter because this show is so poorly written, but I do want to say something that initially the woman basically put her life on the line to tell the people not to burn them at the stake to begin with, and then they accused her of being a witch, and that's because she wanted to do the right thing. So if you built a character that her whole thing is doing the right thing, why would the same character run away from them and leave them high and dry? So the idea that on one hand she would risk her life to save them, only to later just say, whatever, like let them die, is just a weird inconsistency that's typical of the type of poor writing that this show has. Unless there was something that I misunderstood here, uh, maybe she never wanted to abandon them and she was caught regardless. I guess maybe that happened. I couldn't really tell because it wasn't well explained, but all I know is that the writing here is very crappy, and this falls under that category of crappiness. So here they're doing the whole burning. They come back, and they all, I guess, get caught and everything. Oh no, they don't get caught yet. First, they want to burn her, and here I guess after all these 7 people go in and out and all these people do all this nonsense, at the end, the way they resolve it is basically by doing nothing. The whole resolution of this whole situation is that they tell, Ben's disappointed fiancé that, soon there's gonna be rain anyways. So all Ben has to do is waste a bit of time until, the rain starts. So Ben goes with this other lady. They come and they try to stop them from killing the witch, and then they want to kill all 3 of them. And then Ben says basically that he's going to bring the rain or something like that, and they all wait. And then at the beginning, it doesn't look like it's coming, but then the rain comes, and everybody is now happy. They don't want to kill them anymore, and they don't believe they're witches or whatever. And now they said, okay, well, let's kill that magistrate guy. So Ben says, no, wait a second. Wait, I think we should just all work together. And he also discovers that the water was dirty in the well and they need to clean it and stuff like that, which is fine. Then the thing ends, and the son kisses Ben, and him and his disappointed fiance are now on friendly terms again, and I guess she's back as the hologram or something. It's probably terrible. I hope she's not, but that's probably what's gonna happen because this show is crappy. And then he leaps, and I guess he is now in the pyramids or some nonsense, and the thing ends. So, uh, okay. So I'm going to just quickly go somebody I see another person has joined us, DMG. I like the original show with only 2 main characters with a minimal amount of their personal lives sprinkled across 5 seasons, not personal drama taking up so much every single episode. Exactly. This is all unnecessary. The whole foundation on which this show was laid is faulty. It was never good to begin with. From my first review, if anybody goes back and looks at my first review of this new series, I explained what the issues were, why the reboot doesn't work, and over time, it's not like they went and corrected the mistake. Every single thing I said in that first review, it just ended up uh, almost like, I don't even want to say a prophecy, but I was able to spot all the problems, and perhaps it shows that at least my analysis skills are somewhat decent because I was able to pick up on every single issue in the show. And yes, let's see. Classic QL, a single drop of rain for season 4 is what the ending of this show reminds me of. Yes, the thing where he's sort of this snake oil salesman with that he's promising all that stuff. Yeah, they doubled down on all the bad stuff forgotten MMA. So, just to go over specifically in this episode, I'll try to think if there's a few things. Maybe there's a few isolated scenes. I think that Raymond Lee made an effort in this episode. He really made an effort. I've never thought that he is leading man material or that he's the right person to lead a quantum leap. But I think that on occasion he does make an effort to make the show as passable or as watchable as he can. There were a few scenes here that you could tell that he was at least trying to be a bit humorous and make it a bit lighthearted. Uh, there were a few moments like this, and especially at the end, let's say when they want to kill the magistrate and he says, no, let's all work together, and the part that he picks up on the sulfur and the well, there were some things that I think as an actor he executed okay, but really, even he, I think, would be better as a side character on a show like this and not as a main character. And at the same time, the screenplay is so bad. It's not like I think he's the best actor either. I'm just saying that at least I have to recognize sometimes when I think that maybe he's making an effort. All the rest, the present day stuff, you could have deleted it from the episode. It doesn't even make sense if you delete a lot of those present day scenes and you just cut them out of the episode. I don't know if anybody would even notice. It doesn't even matter because they're not doing anything in present day. Uh, Whether they talk about their feelings or not, or if he goes to AA meetings, or if she's sad and all this stuff, it doesn't have any effect on the episode. Just take them, remove them, and watch the episode, and it'll be the same outcome. I'm with you. I don't like most of the present day stuff anymore. Anymore. Does that imply that you used to like it? It's unwatchable. Uh, the only thing I liked in the show was the lady playing the Africa trying to stop the nonsense. Yes, I thought that she seemed to, maybe as an actress, she tried to make a little effort with the accent so that she's talking like she's during that time, but the fact that nobody else is making that effort makes it even stand out even more, that they're not even trying to do this a period piece. This looks like it was filmed on a parking lot and whatever studio this is being filmed at. This looks just so cheap. You know when you take your family to a place that's sort of like, quote, unquote, "a saloon" or something that looks old, or maybe you go to Massachusetts and they've restored a few places that maybe a few, witches used to hang out or whatever. It looks like they just went to there and just tried to film. It looks like part of an amusement park or something. I don't know how to explain it. It it doesn't it doesn't convince me at all. Sometimes I find the guest stars do a better job than the main cast. Well, yes, I mean, guest stars on occasion, they have to bring somebody maybe that knows how to, no, I don't wanna say knows how to act. I always wanted to see more of present day, but the new show is done too it's a too much of feeling discussion. I've always thought that the original show did exactly what was needed with present day. It gave us a little glimpse into it here and there, but it didn't overdo it. Um, so if I had to say what I was feeling when I watched this episode, I was feeling that it's basically it's no longer Quantum Leap. It hasn't been for a long time. This is so far from Quantum Leap. This is just this is like as if you told the people that made the Batwoman on the CW to make Quantum Leap. This is what it would look like. This is Batwoman Quantum Leap. It has nothing to do with Quantum Leap. They drop some names like Sam and Al from time to time, but really, it's all just member berries and nonsense. There's no heart to this show. The writing is very poor, and we never get to really care about these characters because there's too much present day back and forth. If we don't get to see them, if we don't learn more about them, if we don't spend time with them, we don't care about them. This really is the amateur hour of productions. I will take any episode of the original show over any episode that I've seen on this new show any day of the week. And I say that not just to be clever or wise ass, or I'm not trying to be cynical or just to be mean spirited. The original show, every screenplay had people writing it that actually gave some thought to what they were writing. In this case, it's just it's a cheap production led by people that are, in my opinion, hacks. Uh, I don't really know why it continues to get renewed. I think it's an awful show, but sometimes these things happen. I mean, there was a show called MacGyver on CBS, the revival, and I watched it, and it didn't seem like MacGyver to me, but apparently it went on for a few seasons. So I don't know. Sometimes people they like what they like something, maybe they're able to use a brand and get a few people to watch. A few people are watching this. It's not many, but there's some kind of small group of people that watch it, and maybe for NBC, based on the amount of money they spend on it, it's worth something for them, just like that MacGyver show may have been worth something to somebody. But if you're really a fan of it, it sure doesn't feel like it to me. And it's so far gone at this point. It's lost the ability to really even upset me or annoy me. I just watch it and I'm like, okay, okay, he's in 1692. Okay, they look like they're in a parking lot in Disney Epcot Center or something. I don't know. I don't even care. Somebody says so true. Far from Kyo, it's a soulless knockoff. Uh, let's see. Agreed, this is not Quantum Leap. I hope Scott Bakula stays far away from I really hope so too. He knows why he didn't wanna be a part of it from day one. I'm sure he looked at what they'd sent him and he just said, "This looks like garbage to me," and he knows a thing or two, so he knew what garbage looks like, and he knew that that was it, and he didn't wanna be a part of it, and the only thing that I worry is that one day they'll come with a suitcase with so much money that maybe he'll agree, but I hope that that day never comes. If this show manages to somehow get canceled and end without ever having him involved, I'll be really happy. There's hardly any charismatic characters in the cast. I mean, this is a combination. The actors aren't very charismatic. Uh, Scott Bakula and Dean Stockwell were actors that were very successful. Uh, Scott was a Tony Award nominated actor that was at the top of his Broadway game, whereas Dean Stockwell just received an Academy Award nomination for being in a movie. So they were both sort of on top of their games in their careers, and they liked this script and they thought this was a cool idea to be a part of. That's really a situation that's so rare that you get these level of actors, especially in 1989, almost unheard of. So everybody really lucked out with that casting. It was above and beyond the cast that you could have hoped for a show like this, and that's why the two of them together and the chemistry between these two actors who had a good track record in their fields, it was something so unique to watch. Yes, Forgotten MMA was married to the mob. I don't remember what Broadway musical or whatever it was that Scott Bakula was the lead actor that he's nominated for. But if you're nominated for lead actor on Broadway, that means that you must be a pretty decent actor, and not only a pretty decent actor. The original show, it requires all these different locations, all these different stories, places. It's a different period piece every different episode, and you really need people of high caliber to pull this off. And so much of the show, so much of the crazy things that go on, it's their chemistry and their acting and their charisma and charm that really get the viewers on board on the original show. And this show, and also to where credit is due, the writing was good. So you have good writing and you have such good casting and such a everything comes together in that production. It was well made for its time, well produced, well acted, well written. Here you have none of those things. It's produced by people, the people that initially put this show together, that sort of laid the original initial foundation, who were later demoted. They were third generation J.J. Abrams disciples, meaning I think they worked for either Alex Kurtzman, who was a disciple of J.J. Abrams himself, but it was like third generation people to other people that are incompetent, in my opinion, incompetent hacks. So it couldn't have been anything good. And then so you had those people. Then they got demoted, and they basically were pushed aside to make way for Martin Giro and Dean Georgeris, who were both also, in my opinion, these are people that have worked exactly on those type of either CW shows or cop dramas that nobody cares about. It's not. You need a certain vision for a sci-fi show, fantasy with period pieces. You need a kind of vision. You need a certain type of personality. You need a certain type of writer's room. These people are not it. And the only thing I think maybe Martin Gere, one of those people, may have written for. I don't know if it was Battlestar, something may have done something on some production before, but I'm telling you that these guys are not real, true sci-fi people. They don't understand this franchise. As I've said in some of my videos, this Martin Giro guy, he looks at a lot of other sci-fi shows and kind of tries to emulate ideas that he got from shows that did things successfully, but he implements them so poorly on this show that even that just turns out being a joke. So that's what the problem is. Somebody wrote a comment here. I recall Donald Belsario was shocked Dean agreed to do the show, and Dean thought it was a great part-time job with a great salary. I believe Dean recently had a kid at the time, so he wanted to work. I agree with that, and I think there's also something else. Dean Stockwell at the time, he was an actor that was already decades in the industry, and I'm sure he had his ups and downs, and maybe he understood the value of a steady paycheck. A lot of people told him this is beneath you. You know, you could be doing more Academy Award winning movies. But maybe when you're an actor that's sort of a character actor, you have your dry spells. You don't know exactly when the steady paycheck is coming in. And maybe he thought to himself, like maybe like what you said, it was good for his private life. Maybe he had a kid, but maybe he thought that this was a good gig for him, something steady. Um, I don't blame him, and I suppose he liked what he read. I mean, it's not. I think he must have looked at it and thought to himself, "This looks cool," so he did it, and I don't think that he regretted it. As for this show, I don't care about any of these characters. I don't care about any of this. It's just this whole now he's in the pyramids, now he's in this. That they've tried this whole season to me reeks of desperation. They had a chance here, if we're being honest, to try to correct all the mistakes they made in the first season and just get rid of all the characters, find a way. That initial first season premiere episode, it should have been that only one person returns. Maybe Magic, who's not acting like an alcoholic, just returns and somehow a new reality has been set. All those other people don't exist. Maybe he doesn't even remember them. I would have been okay with that. Something happened, they all disappeared. He saved her life, but in return, she'll never remember him. And that's a sacrifice he had to make, and now it's a new reality, and all those other people disappeared along with her for some reason, and I think everybody would be cool with it. Just go and focus on personal stories. Even with these, in my opinion, hacks that don't know what they're doing, just try to focus on the leaps, less of this present day nonsense, a normal hologram, with even Raymond Lee staying as the leaper. Maybe there was a way to somehow conjure up something that's not as offensively bad. But the second they kept double downing and triple downing and bringing more characters and bringing the sensitive douche new fiance for the disappointed former fiance, this is all a bunch of nonsense. Magic and Beth, Magic the alcoholic, uh, random office guy person and his girlfriend, all of this weird stuff. None of this was necessary. It didn't help anybody, and it was crap. And this whole episode was just not. It was a big nothing. I mean, I watched it and I forgot about it the second it was over. And the only reason I remembered is that a few people reached out to me and said, "We'd really love for you to say how bad that episode was." So here I am saying that it was in fact very bad. It was terrible. It is a present day soap opera for sure. Tex Rogers. I kept calling it soapy drama, and people thought that I had never heard anybody use that term before. And somebody said, "Oh, it seems like something like you invented." And I said, I don't think I ever heard it anymore. And I was just calling it soapy drama. The funniest thing, I was looking on Netflix, and they have a new show, and in the description they said it's a soapy drama. So I don't know. Maybe I was ahead of the curve, but that's what it is. It's a soapy drama. It's Batwoman, but with Quantum Leap. Um, I don't foresee any situation that this thing recovers, bounces back, or anything. This is just like all the other failures. This is like Star Trek. This is like Star Wars. This is like Doctor Who. It's just that this franchise isn't as well known. If it was, then they would be a part of the same conversation. Those other franchises are admittedly bigger. Days of Our Leaps. That's actually good, Texrod. Days of Our Leaps. I like that. Forgotten MMA loyal. They coined your term. Yes, somebody else. I have to wonder how they got to it. I mean, I didn't hear it before, and now the fact that I suddenly saw them advertising something as soapy drama. Who knows? You never know in the universe. Maybe I put it out there. Somebody heard it, and they're instead of understanding that it's a bad thing, now they're embracing it. They're like saying our show is a soapy drama. I wouldn't go with that. If you have a soapy drama, that's not good. But what do I know? Uh, I like that term you used too. Yeah, well, now I guess it's everybody's using it. They've either picked up on it or they just got to the term themselves, but it's funny nevertheless. In any case, guys, if you have any questions, now's the time to ask. This I know I could have had more interesting thoughts about this episode, but what's there to say? I mean, it was just really bad. It didn't seem like this is how people acted in 1692, and the whole idea of him leaping here to begin with was bad. Before we go, any questions? Price, what's the status on the ratings? You know what? Give me a second. Let me check to see what the ratings were on that thing. I'll tell you what, I've been looking, and surprisingly, even though the ratings aren't good every week, what I will say is that there seems to be some kind of small audience that continues to watch it. Uh, it's not necessarily something. It's usually if there's a slot of like 4 shows during that time frame of that day of that it airs, it's usually in 4th place. It's by no means it's not really doing well in the ratings. This last episode, it did 2.4 million with an 0.26 demographic. That looks like it's the lowest 18 to 49 demographic it's had all season until now. Surprisingly, the week before was actually the highest episode rated of the season, and then this week is like probably the lowest. I'm really surprised that the previous one was the highest rated. I don't know why anybody would watch it. Why suddenly that one was something that somebody watched. Have no explanation. Even then, it was 2.9 million. They're not doing exceptionally well in the ratings, in my opinion. According to Script Doctor, who appears on this channel when we do the classic Quantum Leap shows, uh, shout out to Script Doctor. He basically, and he has a lot of insider knowledge from his direction, from what he does. And according to him, it's not that the network loved this show so much as they didn't really have a replacement for it. And I guess then this is me weighing in. Basically, it was a pretty cheap production to do with a high turnaround, a high turnaround of episodes, and maybe with lack of other options, they just said, screw it, we'll give it another season. Love Script, he has some good info. Yeah, he's good. Makes sense. So I think that's it, guys. Thanks. I see that some people actually showed up, and that's really, really nice of you. I usually what I do is I put these episodes, these live streams about these episodes, I put them here on my channel. I also later add them to the playlist on my main channel. Sometimes people look at those playlists, so if they want to see my analysis, they can listen to it. But basically, and yeah, and actually I see that over the next few weeks, usually a few weeks after I post it, I see that even a few hundred people end up watching it. So if people enjoy my takes on it and they like to hear my thoughts, I'm happy to do it. The show is pretty much done. I really don't see any way back, but it's nice to meet up and to at least poke some fun at it and at least highlight what's wrong with it. That's also a nice thing to do. And I'm very appreciative anybody that I really just did this from moment to moment. I just went live. There's nothing. There was no promo, no advance notice, nothing. I just went live and some people showed up and I'm really appreciative. So I want to wish you guys all a great evening, a good night. I'm working on some stuff now. I'm trying to get that Doctor Who review. That latest episode was just a disaster. And I'm going to try to work on that for those of you who like Doctor Who. And that'll be on my main channel. And yeah, you'll see me in different places. I appreciate you too, Forgotten MMA. Thanks, Tex Rogers. Who else did I see here? There was DMG. Thanks. And there's other people that I see, but they haven't actually spoken, but that's okay. Ted Harrington, thanks for stopping by. You all have a good night. Peter, thank you. Great review. Thanks, Peter. Well, you all have a good night, and I'll talk to you soon.